Coach Steve here one more time with the OWC Thunderbolt Dock, the new one that's come out recently. Again, I was looking to see, will this give me more usable Thunderbolt ports with my MacBook Air, which only has two. I have an M1 MacBook Air, and like many folks who've bought M1 MacBook Airs or MacBook Pros, the question is, how well do these work, and can I add some ports using something like this? So last time we determined that it does work. There are some limitations, and so I got a question from Jose Manuel Castaneda, who asked me, hey, what happens if you plug it into a 15-inch MacBook Pro? So since I have one, I did that, and here's the results. So if you plug it, here's the results from last time. These are rough speeds that we got directly one drive at a time to one of the ports on the MacBook Pro itself. If we go through the Thunderbolt port, there's a slight reduction, not enough to, I think, worry too much about, but it seems to work fairly well. So that answers one question if you're using one drive at a time. Similarly to what we saw on the MacBook Air, there is a slowdown when you use all three drives at the same time. So basically, in this case, let me just show you. I'm going to run all three drives at the same time in the background here. And what you'll see is that that the speeds are actually fairly comparable, and they vary. So one of the caveats for all this, one of the warnings I would have for you is that your mileage may vary, that these tests, each run varies depending on what's going on in the background. So in general, what I'm finding is the speeds when all three disks are running are very close, even though the Extreme Pro should have, in theory, double the speed or close to double the speed. It doesn't really achieve that when you're running all three drives at the same time through the essentially a single Thunderbolt port on the MacBook Pro, or in this case, in the Intel MacBook Pro, which is running right now, and the MacBook Air. Now you're just going to see some variation, like 479 on the write speed right now. Looks great, but I've had variations where that number's been significantly lower. Again, there is that speed reduction. Looking back here, we saw a little bit greater speed reduction. Well, actually, it's fairly comparable using three drives at the same time with the MacBook Air. So that's what I've seen so far. It may be what you might expect to see as well. Leave a comment if you've bought this or if you have something similar. I think a lot of people are looking for Thunderbolt multiplication possibilities. I do know that OWC has a second one that's just a one Thunderbolt to three Thunderbolt. I wasn't able to get that one, and in fact, this one serves me better because I need other things like Ethernet connection and that. So this one fits my use case a little bit more. You may find that the other one's better for what you're trying to do. So leave comments. Hopefully there'll be other folks making similar devices, but these are the only two I've been able to find so far that give me three Thunderbolt ports for one in, and that's what I was looking for. Let me know in the comments, and if you find this useful, I'm glad. We'll see you next time.